Hey guys, Brandon here with Exotic Cars 19, bringing you guys another one of these point of view drive reviews. This one is over a 2010 Audi R8 V10, one that I'm very excited for because I have not ever ridden or driven an R8 on the street. Back when I was 18, I rode in a V10, I think right when they got the dual clutch. And I was on track on Las Vegas, like Exotics Racing had something going on, but I didn't really get to take a whole lot of time in and see what the car was all about. So that's why I'm excited about this one here. It is the single clutch paddle shift transmission, so I'm really curious to see what that's all about in automatic and paddle shift mode. But more than anything, I just want to see what it's like to drive kind of in a daily way. I guess this will be another video. I guess we could do another one of these. Is a 2010 Audi R8 V10 daily drivable, or an R8 in general daily drivable, based off this one here. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get to it. I guess I'll start just doing a full kind of specs and all that good stuff, and then we'll just kind of throw a point of view drive perspective GoPro on my head, and we'll just hit the road and I'll just talk to you guys about my impressions, because I've literally only driven this thing now about 500 feet to get set up here. So yeah, it'll be a good first impression video. But anyway, let's run through it. So yeah, like I said, this is a 2010, and this is the V10 iteration. It's naturally aspirated V10. It's a 5.2 liter, like you would find in the Gallardo. So it produces 525 horsepower, and I think it was 391 pound-feet of torque. So yeah, with the naturally aspirated engine, it's not shoving you in the back like a twin turbo, but I'm imagining the sound will make up for that as far as just easy breathing sound that you would get from the Gallardo, Huracan, the new R8s, this R8, and all of that good stuff. But anyway, all those figures in a car like this that only weighs 3,600 pounds, which is pretty light for what it is. Now, if I'm going to talk about daily drivability, I guess I should mention fuel economy, 13 miles a gallon city, and then 20 highway. So, you know, is what it is. Not actually bad now that I think about it. For naturally aspirated V10, 13 and 20, I will take that easily. I guess the last figures I will tell you guys is regarding that this car is for sale. In fact, that it is currently listed for just under $88,000. It's got under 27,000 miles as well, which, you know, may seem high for some people for a supercar, but there are R8 examples with significantly higher mileage, so this thing is just getting started. But yeah, good value. I mean, you can pick these things up for well under 90 grand now for a good looking, not their first year by any means, 2010 V10 R8, not bad. But anyway, yeah, so this car is for sale, and my friend Aaron is selling this one as well. So if you guys are interested, I will put the email in the description, and feel free to let him know if you're interested in anything else. He will literally find anything and source it for you, but whether it's Porsche, Audi, all that good stuff. So he's been helping me a lot recently, kind of with the hookups to get these reviews. So please do feel free to check him out, give him a nice kickback as well. But without any further ado, I think that's all the numbers I wanted to run through. Maybe I'll pan the camera around and we'll switch to the point of view drive and get going here. All right, so we're switched to the point of view drive here. So go ahead and close the door, leave the windows cracked so I could get a little bit of air here. But so yeah, here it is. It is the single clutch paddle shifter. So I'm just gonna go through the procedure of starting it up. Flip out key here. So put on the brake and rotate. Nothing too dramatic as a warm start, but you could definitely tell it's got 10 cylinders. There's no mistaking that. I'm gonna go ahead and roll the window up here. One thing I've noticed already, I've only spent literally a total of maybe 10 minutes in this car so far, just kind of going through the intro of this video and just getting set up. It gets attention, which I didn't think it would. I know us car guys are going to see an R8 V10 and we're always going to at least give it a second look at least. But they're obviously good looking cars, we could admit that, but even other people don't see this as just an Audi. A reason I'm drawn to Porsche and all that kind of stuff is that they're not seen too prestigious, but I'm telling you what, the R8 is definitely getting a lot of heads, more so than I got in the 911 Targa. So I'll go ahead and make sure I have some fun with it, go through the paddles and, you know, be all sporty and whatnot. But right off the bat, I just want to see what it's like if I'm driving in a mundane manner. I know I say that a lot, but I always want to do the same thing. So we have gone through a few gears. We're now in 5th gear. The last 2 shifts, they were really smooth. The first couple are kind of lurchy, not too terrible. That is where the dual clutch will be much smoother. And I think I have a friend of mine who, or at least a connection that might allow me to drive a brand new R8 V10. So that'll be nice to compare. But 2013 and up, I believe, is when they started implementing the dual clutches. So it would mitigate that. But now we're in 6th gear. I don't even know when it shifted there. So it's smooth once you get up and rolling. And of course, once you're with the paddle shifters, I'd imagine it'll get a little bit better as well. But yeah, I mean, if I'm going to talk about some mundane things, I have to keep reminding myself I'll probably title this something along the lines of daily drivability for an R8. Visibility is really good. Big piece of glass back there. The wing that this has is factory, but didn't leave the factory with it. Either way, it has the wing and it's not blocking at all. No obstruction at all. Side mirrors are plenty big enough, and everything, every time you look out, it just looks good. Good angles on this car. That goes without saying. And of course, that's opinionated, but I think this car certainly looks good. But yeah, overall good visibility. You have large pillars back there as you usually do with sports cars, but it's actually not too bad. Yeah, so 5th gear now. As we slow down, it keeps going down in gears and I don't really feel them. So right off the bat, I just want to say, if you're thinking about daily driving one of these, know that you're in for kind of a sportier automatic, even in the boring modes. Boring, I mean that lightly, of course. But yeah, so far from my impressions, I don't have to be on this car. I don't have to be paying attention too much more than I need to be anyway. So it's totally daily drivable. I would say it's something like a, I don't even know, probably an Audi TT, honestly. I'm gonna go through a couple gears here and then give it an opinion here, but the downshifts are okay there. All right, I've gone down a couple gears and up a few gears, and I already have some opinions on this on this gearbox here. 2012 and below, if you're going to get the automatic, it's actually not bad at all. I thought single clutch might not be too great. It's not bad. The shifts themselves are quick. The delay between the paddle to the gear might be slow for some people in today's standards, but this car is crazy to think about, coming up on 9 years old. It's already 8 years old, 2018. That's crazy to think about. But yeah, no, it does not feel like an 8 or 9 year old transmission at all. That's how I would put it. Shifts are very nice. They sound good, up and down shifts. It's just a little bit of the delay. I mean, I'll make this very obvious with my hand gesture here. As you saw there. One thing that some people will probably enjoy is it's actually not so smooth on the upshifts. Definitely not in sport anyway, but I don't know. It has some throw to it, which I personally enjoy. It's kind of like the single clutch Lamborghinis. People kind of like that visceral kick to it. But it's kind of precise enough, you know. I don't want that to sound bad, but it's definitely not like jolty or anything like that in a bad way. But it's got some nice visceral kick to it, I guess. Yeah, it's not bad at all. Once you're at the higher RPMs, I'd say 3,500 and above, it just seems to be, I don't know, cycling better. It just breathes really nice. So we'll go ahead and give it a little bit of space here. Maybe we could roll the windows down some. Man, I don't know. It feels more than 391 pound-feet of torque to me, especially on the higher end of the rev range. That's why it's really, really happy. All right, gonna spin it around here, and I'm gonna keep it in sport mode. I'm gonna keep it in manual and all that stuff. But one thing I will say is the shift between 1 and 2 is quite harsh. Some people might mind it. I personally don't. It's just something to be cognizant of, but it's a pretty harsh shift. that was pretty fun. More impressions. Downshifts are a lot smoother than I would have thought they were. I've actually driven dual clutches where the downshifts are a little intimidating coming to stops like this. Handled those pretty smoothly. I will say, now that you guys have probably seen my first impressions with that, you guys can hopefully hear that, yeah, there is a little bit more of that delay in between shifts than I had realized, but not to where it is too bad. I mean, like I said, this is coming up on 9 years old now. In fact, probably is 9 years old, because as you know, 2010s get sold in 2009. So yeah, this is a good 9-year-old transmission already. And so it's just not necessarily up to par with PDK today, or even the dual clutches in the new Performante, the new Huracan, standard Huracan, and the new R8s. However, if you're looking at this from a perspective that you want an R8, you want a V10, you want paddle shifts, and you want all that for, you know, less than 90 grand, yeah, this will do you fine. I'm just saying that, you know, up to today's date, 2017, 18, 19, we are just spoiled with some unbelievable transmissions. Yeah, what a fun car this is, though. It makes me really eager to drive one with the dual clutch. Like I said, I already have, but that was a few years ago. And I just didn't really take that opportunity in because, to be honest, I was 18 and I was just about crapping my pants on the track. All right, well, in combination of, I think that was enough spirited driving to kind of get the impressions, and I have a truck in front of me, I say we go ahead and, for the remainder of the video, throw it back in automatic like that. Take it off of sport. So yeah, I gotta say, that's probably all the spirited driving I'll do in this video, and it is definitely spirited enough. Now, if you are spoiled by other cars nowadays, GT3, GT3 RSs, Huracans, and then all that kind of stuff, the new R8, those transmissions just nowadays are just so crazy good. Even on the new Ferraris, 488, the Speciale, even the 458, I think is sharper than this with their dual clutch. So I guess if the question is, like I've said, for under $90,000, is it too good to be true? Not necessarily. It doesn't. I would say it's the single clutch transmission isn't as sharp and precise and I don't know, seamless as the new dual clutches, but it is certainly plenty fine. You could daily drive it like this. You could go through the gears yourself. And it is visceral, and it's got a little bit of a delay, but not nearly like the, I don't know, like the Corvette C7, for example. If you guys were subscribed long enough that you would know my dad had one, and that was my biggest complaint with the 8-speed auto. The shifts were okay, the delay was killing me. This is not nearly as bad as that by any means, but there's a little bit of delay there. So, you know, for this review, I'm going to mention it. However, it is not bad. You could have gotten this year with a manual. I think that would be an absolute riot. That would be a lot of fun to have this car that looks this good and this new in a manual transmission. However, the new ones, they don't have that. Do I mind? Not necessarily, because the new transmissions are so good. So anyway, if you're interested in one of these, I am presuming that you're probably looking at this video either because you're an enthusiast, and I appreciate that, or you're in the market for one. You're in the market for this year, and with this transmission is what I'm assuming. So if that's the case, this is me telling you that the transmission is plenty fine. The car is plenty quick as well, and it is certainly fun to drive. And like I said, it certainly gets a lot of looks. But as I pull into here, I think that's going to be it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.